Morning, everyone. So today what we're going to do is a class focused on kind of the strength of the chest, kind of building strength on the back, both on the chest and kind of the upper back, as well as some exercises for the forearms, like basically to try to bring that feeling of pressure and kind of overwhelmness that we have when we do planks or things that take a little bit onto our arms into other parts of the body. And for that, we're going to use something that I'm learning on my new course on kind of shaping breath and shaping kind of the way we use prana or energy to try to get into poses. So we're going to start to use pranayama in fact for the first part of the class. So find a comfortable sitting position. I'm sitting again on the Dandasana because it cannot bend my knee that much still. So just find Dandasana or any other sitting position that you want to take. Make sure you find a place where your shoulders are just on top of the hips. Just play around, close the eyes and play around a little bit, going back and forth, and then side to side until you find a place where it's like naturally easier to stay. Then once again, place the focus on the sit bones. Then from there, try to have an energy of lifting, an upward energy into your chest, into your spine. Tuck the chin in slightly. Make the back of the neck as long as you can. Your cervical spine growing. And feel as the top of the head is an arrow that is trying to reach the sky. Right. Slowly open the eyes. We're going to try to keep this position and start thinking about plank. We're going to use a lot of plank and then modify plank with the knees up. So for plank, everyone really kind of is so focused on the arms that sometimes it can be overwhelming when you don't have the strength on the biceps, the triceps, or kind of any of your muscles on the back. And in reality, kind of you can use the rest of the body. You don't only have to use, your serratus, your deltoids, your lats. You can use everything. You can use the abs, you can use the legs. Then we're going to use that, and we're going to use that with the breath. So what I want you to do is start thinking about having a big inhale and a big exhale, or a long inhale and a long exhale. There's different ways in which you can bring breath into your body, or you can feel breath into your body. Normally what happens is when the air comes is it fills the lungs, and the lungs are going to push to the side, and then the diaphragm, which is doing the whole exercise, is going to push your lungs out, and that is going to create kind of a three-dimensional movement upward to the sides and back. So you're like growing like a balloon. And that sensation of a balloon, normally we use it when we're using belly breath. The difference is that the breath never really goes into your belly. So I want you to have that sensation of three-dimensional shape and kind of growing as we were like inflating a ball into the chest. Bring your hands into the chest, or one hand into the chest, and then inhale. And feel how the chest grows forward. And then returns that again. It's going to grow slightly up and forward. Now bring both hands into the sides, into your intercostal area. And again, the same. Feel how your ribs are going to expand to the side. Again, try it. Now one hand into the chest, one hand into the intercostals. You're going to the sides, up and forward. Beautiful. Try to keep that image, that sensation into your body as we go into the mat. We're going to start in hands and knees. And we're going to start with a forearm exercise that I just learned this week. And at the same time, trying to apply the breath. So as we inhale, we're going to feel that we're pushing. So our ribs are growing to the sides and up. And as we exhale, we're going to go slightly down and back and relax into a neutral position. Don't go into a cat position, use a neutral position. And again, push the mind away, help yourself with the breath, feel the lungs, feel the shape change of your ribs going to the side, to the front, and then slightly back. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, as we inhale, try to go a little bit forward. Turn to bring movement into the breast. So we're integrating the motion of the chest also into our arms. Also, as we are inhaling, if you notice, we're protracting our spine. We're protracting the tailbone. But we're not really retracting as we go down. We're just focusing on going into a neutral position. Keep going, 3 more. So we're going to explore now this, trying to go into plank. Just extend one leg, and don't worry if you cannot do a whole plank. We're going to start with one leg. Then try to find that neutral position. It's not kind of into a small back bend into your back, but it's neither here up. It's kind of use where everything is into alignment. And you have big buttocks, then it doesn't matter. It's not a curve, it's just your buttocks. But just think about kind of keeping that neutral spine as you go into the plank. And again, inhale, move forward, slightly forward, up, protract the tailbone, exhale, back, return to neutral. Inhale forward, exhale, back, neutral. 2 more. Inhale forward, back, and neutral. Inhale forward, and up, back, and neutral. Change the leg. 3 more on this side. Sorry, 5 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We're going to try now with the 2 legs. Then as we extend the legs, one thing that I want you to think is how the legs can also help you into these positions. So just extend one, and we're going to go a little bit into the details of this. So I want you to think about the hip really moving back. Then as you try to keep your spine into a neutral position here, then that elongates and then creates even more of a flat line. You see, your buttocks almost disappear as you really extend to the back. So keep that sensation of going back. Keep one leg back, then bring the other one, keep pushing the heels back, and then try to keep the shoulders in line with the breast. Okay, neutral position. Then inhale, exhale. 5 of these. Inhale, exhale. 4, Inhale. 3. Inhale. 2. Inhale. 1. Bring the knees down or try to go into chaturanga on your own. Inhale, upward facing dog. Release a little bit of the tension into the shoulders. Stay. Use the inhale to open the chest and then exhale, downward facing dog. Great. This dynamic, you can also use it into a downward facing dog. So as we kind of allow the wrist to have a break, we're going to utilize the same sensation of lifting into the downward facing dog, which also is a great way of kind of bringing some movement into the hamstrings, and as we lift, really stretch the hamstrings to the back. And this is a good exercise I'm doing to try to recover extension onto my knees. So come into your comfortable downward facing dog. Make sure your armpits are looking towards each other so you have an external rotation onto the arms. Then we're going to do the same as we were doing in plank. We're going to inhale and lift. So you're trying to bring your shoulders as close to the ears as possible, and exhale. Inhale. Maybe the movement is not as notorious as on the plank, but the sensation in your body is, and then that is what is important. I want you to have that sensation of lifting and pushing. Last 2. Last one. And slowly go. Good. So once again, we're going to go into plank, but we're going to start changing it. So for that, we're going to incorporate an exercise into the forearms to try to strengthen the forearms. And when we come into plank, make it a little bit easier. This exercise is also meant more for kind of handstands because it really kind of creates the strength into your wrist and your forearms. But what I'm finding as I've been doing it for about a week is that it's really strengthening my plank and it's helping me with the chaturangas. We're going to try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into the top of the fingers. We're going to lift the wrist, lift the palm, lift the other one, and then we're going to go down as control as possible, with as much control as possible. And again, inhale, the other wrist, inhale, and then with as much control, exhale down. Or you can incorporate any breath if you want. Change again, inhale, inhale, exhale. Up, up, down. Up, up, down. What is more important here is what we call the reverse, what we call kind of the going down. What I really want you to focus is how you go down, how you start to kind of create awareness into your arms to go slowly and control that. Once again. Right, now we're going to bring the knees together, go slightly forward. Then try it again. This might make it easier. This might make it more difficult. You're going to start noticing some sensation into your forearms and into your elbows. So what is allowing you to do, if you do it correctly, if you keep kind of the external rotation, is allowing you to really lock into your elbows so they can do kind of this small bending that sometimes kind of sacrifices the strength of the position in plank. We're going to try to do, you can keep doing the same, or you can tuck your toes, and we're going to bring this one in a little bit harder. So you're going to lift the knees from the floor. Then lift, lift, and then control down. Lift, lift, then control down. Lift, lift, control down. This got me quite a lot. Lift and down. 2 more, lift, lift, and down, lift, lift, and down. Rest for a while. Use maybe shake your arms and hands if you need to. And we're gonna try this one in plank. Maybe you try it, maybe you stay in the first position, maybe you stay in the second one, it doesn't matter. Bring the knees together. And now I really want you to feel, to help your forms in this, I want you to really incorporate the legs. So as you have the knees together and you're in hands and knees, I want you to really think that the knees, the heels, the feet, and the thighs are coming together. With that kind of internal rotation of everything forward towards each other, what you end up doing is you end up creating kind of a spiral of energy that is going to help you to keep the ribs in. And then thus is going to help you kind of with the position of kind of involving your lats, involving your serratus, involving your pecs. And it's all coming from the legs. So you really have to feel strong thighs as you do the plank. Let's try the same exercise with plank. You just keep focusing on the legs instead of really focusing on what might be a little bit difficult from the forms. Just focus on the legs, really extending the legs and the feet back, the same as we said before. Feet back, legs kind of trying to get into each other, heels together. Lift one hand, lift the other, and down. Lift one hand, lift the other, and down. Lift one hand, lift the other, and slowly down. 3 more. And down. Lift, lift, and down. Last one. Lift, lift, and down. Slowly, chaturanga, or all the way down. Knees or no knees. Upward facing dog, or cobra. Downward facing dog. And use down dog as a release. So once again, maybe do smaller lifts into your downward facing dog. Just lifting, 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 lifting. Slowly release down. If you want, you can go into a child's pose if you need to. I can't do it still. That's as far as I get before my knees say no. I can't go down, but you can do it. I'm going to rest in hands and knees or in downward facing dog. Take some deep breaths. And we're now building the whole sequence with your planks and moving into the release. So don't worry, there is release after this. We're not only doing arm exercises, we're only doing a bit of release. Slowly go back into hands and knees. Then start moving for the next exercise. So in the next exercise, what we're going to, while I speak, which is going to take a bit of a while, you can go with your hands facing side to side and just going side to side. You can bring the hands closer so the movement is a little bit bigger. So for the next exercise, what we are moving into is now kind of the lateral side and moving your planks into side plank. So for side plank, and especially the movement, kind of the moment where you go from the normal plank into the side plank is what I want you to feel is an integration of the body. It's like the whole body was made of one single piece. There were no kind of these little pieces we think about in our body, and we were kind of moving in integration, in coordination to the side. By keeping that integration of the body, is just going to make it easier for your hands to bring it to the side. And the reason for this is if you think about lifting something and you think about something that is very heavy but small, for example, these weights that we have here. for me, it's a lot easier to lift this 5 kilos one than if I have kind of 6 of this or three ones of this. If I have 3 ones of this and I'm struggling with how to hold them, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than if I just have one integrated. So it's the same for your body. You really want to feel the sensation that is moving as an integrating unit. So the lats are helping you to keep the ribs in. The kind of your legs and your buttocks are kind of rotating inward or having this spiral inward, so you can just really feel that the legs are like acting as one and you have a full extension of the legs, and then you are integrating the toes. So let's just try it, okay? We're going to start and moving into plank. Bring your heels together. Really feel both, send the heels to the back. Come into that slight neutral position and then just protract a little bit. We're going to start moving side to side. Really think about keeping the legs together and the legs together. You don't need to go down. This one is more of a waist exercise. I want you to just move side to side. So keeping the body as an integral unit. Side. 5 more each on both sides. Side. 4. 3. 2. 1. And down, slowly stay in plank, hold your plank, hold the legs together, as slow as you can, chaturanga or all the way down, upward facing dog. Your arms may be burning, mine are downward facing dog, your choice. Rest into child's pose or here in downward facing dog. You can shake your arms, you can sit into your legs. I can do it. This is as far as I go. So you can shake your hands as well. Beautiful. We're going then into the really last part of the sequence. So we're going to go again side to side, but we're going to go into a full side. So as you move to the side, as you move into side plank, we're going to lift the opposite hand and then move into side plank, hold it for use 1-2 seconds, then go to the other side. Ready? And if this is too much for you, you can also do it here. So here, then try to find an integrated movement into the body. The other knee down and up. What you're trying to do here is the awareness of the body. So even if the body is not acting as a single unit and you need the knee down, that's completely fine. Or you can do it with me into the whole plank. It's only 10 on both sides. It's nothing, just a smile. Really think about the legs. The key thing is really think about the legs. The more you think about keeping the legs together and bring the strength into the legs, then the less you're thinking about the arms, which is good. Tug your toes. Heels back and find a slightly kind of protracted spine here. Bring the whole back of your body into use and your abs as you were doing a crunch. So they're helping you to keep the plank. Now move side and open. Hold 2, 1. Slowly, with control, plank to the other side and open. Hold. And slowly down to the other side. Open. And slowly down and to the other side. Then open. And down and to the other side. And then open. And then down to the other side. Open. And then down to the other side, open. Down to the other side, open. Halfway down, halfway into the position, open. We're almost there. Open. 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 2 to go. Open. Smile. Think about the legs. Open. Last one here. Do it slowly, really slowly. Open. Really slowly, really slow the movements. Open. And hold into your opening. You can. 3, 2, 1. Down the other side. Hold. 3, 2, 1. If you have still the strength into you, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Then rest into child's pose or downward facing dog. So you can, I used to kind of, sometimes you take child's pose for granted, and then you're in a position like me where I cannot bend my knees. Then I really want to go into child's pose. So you end up doing kind of a half puppy thing. Use a child's pose to kind of rotate your armpits around and find some release here. From the child's pose, we're actually moving into puppy. So bring the knees together, and I want you to keep the hips in line with the knees as you extend the arms forward. You can bring the forehead down. Then as you keep the forehead down, focus on retracting the spine, allowing a little bit of the curve into your spine, or more curve into the spine, trying to bring the chest down. Maybe you can lift the head, looking forward into your hands. The chin goes down. And really try to focus on bringing the chest in. Breathe here, starting to release the spine. Release the shoulders. Place the forehead down, if it was not there already. And go back into hands and knees. Shake, a little bit to the side. And slowly, we're gonna start to keep releasing. Now we're gonna release into the forearms. So bring your hands, come into your forearms, but with the hands facing out. Then you're going to use the other forearm just to massage the back of your forearm. It's kind of doing some waves here. Doesn't need to be a lot. Just trying to find release. You can rotate slightly your form. Then the other side. Nice and beautiful. Stay going down, but then come all the way down into the floor. Come into your Sphinx. Now we're going to extend your right arm. Bring it underneath your left one, your left armpit. And bring the forehead down as you stretch your right shoulder. You can rotate a little bit to the side to try to feel a little bit more of the movement. Just slowly, not a lot. Lightly moving to the side, to the side, to the side. Lift into your left forearm, come into your right forearm. Now the same, extend the left forearm, thread the needle under the right forearm, right armpit, then down. Then again, move side to side a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit. Try to lubricate your armpit. Like here.
Hola.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao. Slowly lift. Once again to your Sphinx, chest forward, chest forward, chest forward. And lift yourself into your knees. Hands. Last part of the release. We're going to release down into the shoulders, a little bit like we did into our puppy. If you have a book or a blog, you place it under, or you can also have a pillow. But it works better when you have like a hard pillow. Another thing we do in physiotherapy is we use balls. And so if you have kind of a ball like your kids will have, and it has to be really hard. So this one is like a gymnastics ball, just a little bit harder. So you just place it in between your shoulder blades. Then you're trying to hug into it, really hug into it. And you can extend the arms or bring them to the back or have them into a cactus shape. Good thing about the ball is that you can go side to side. And then back and forth. So it makes a nice massage. But remember, it cannot be with any kind of ball. It has to be a little bit of a harder ball. If you don't have ball, then you have a block, then it's really your choice. You can put it into a horizontal position, then really focus more about the opening of the chest to the sides. You can put it into a vertical position, then bring the opening a little bit lower into kind of the start of your lumbar spine. Then also use the borders of the block to massage into the sides. Your choice, really your choice. With the pillow the same. But I just want to close your eyes and feel your own body and give your body whatever it needs. I mean, the one I really enjoy is the ball. And you can do this with a smaller ball as well if you have one, like a tennis ball. But it's going to be a little bit more painful sometimes because it's smaller. It comes a little bit deeper. Just take a while to release any tension. Close the eyes. Focus on the legs. And allow the legs to also release. Remember that they were like really straight. Maybe release a little bit on the thighs and the quads. Release a little bit on the chins and the calves. Into your toes. we didn't sweat that much there, but it was more kind of a class focus on skills that you can use for the rest of the practice. So what's happening to my case, you can, if you are a bit tired of your block or your pillow, you can go down into Shavasana, what I explained. So what happens as you are kind of moving into more conscious plank is that the rest of the poses come a little bit easier. And it's, as I say, it's normally used for handstand. But I am starting to get awareness of kind of the different poses, especially as I kind of do the Maharaja standing positions. It just allows me to think when I'm in a vinyasa and I'm kind of going down in my chaturanga, can I keep that straight line as I go down? When I am in a Sphinx pose, can I keep the integration but open the shoulders? Don't come from my lower back, really open into my thoracic spine to kind of create that opening and that space. So Plank has a lot of lessons, and what I'm trying to do now is kind of unpick and review every single one of the poses to try to understand whether you can do your practice in a more conscious way to avoid injuries like the one I did on my knee, to avoid doing unnecessary effort, and to more especially kind of do it in a more efficient way. Inhale deep, deep, deep. Bring the inhale into that whole space that we talked at the beginning. Shape shifting your chest, maybe even coming into your belly. And using the exhale to really release not only the air out, but the tension that might have been. Use it one more time. Long, long, deep inhale. Opening. Shape shifting. Maybe a little bit more of air. And exhale. Slowly start to bring movement into your toes and your hands, into your legs. You can bring the legs into the chest. And if you feel another kind of release into the spine, you can go side to side and then maybe a twist. It's always good to wake up and end practice with a twist. In case you have any tension into the spine that you didn't realize, go to the other side. Up. Start finding your way of going up. However that is, you can go into slide fetal position to right or left, then use your hands to lift yourself up, keep the eyes closed. And I want you to go back into that sensation and that image at the beginning. That shape-shifting force into your chest, into the cavities inside and around your spine. Feeling the diaphragm kind of going from side to side of the ribs, lifting you. And then come together. Give a last deep breath in. Last deep breath out. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Thank yourself for giving time for the practice. Thank those in the house that gave you time to do it. Your little kids, your husband, like maybe your cat, your dog, they also give you time, yourself for giving you time to do the practice today. And slowly move forward and down. Namaste, everyone.